Okay, so I'm working on getting the Hydroboost out of here. I've got all my lines unhooked. This line goes there. You got one line that goes right there. It's laying down there, and then you got the return line that goes on this piece right here. That's just hose clamped on. And that's pretty much it for unhooking it. It's not really that difficult, except for the, you know, if you got a master cylinder here, I'm replacing mine. So I'm not too worried. I have mine out of the way. I believe you can change this Hydroboost without taking the master cylinder out. If you're not changing that, or if you don't want to break the lines, I think you can move it forward enough to get the Hydroboost out, but I think you can do that. Not totally positive, but you might be able to do that. A little word of caution if you are doing that. I got new lines here, but if you're running your old lines and you start moving them and stretching them, and you could possibly break old lines. So be aware of that. You might want to just take your master cylinder off. Maybe like I'm doing, might as well replace it. You're going to get a little better braking feel, especially if you got a really, really old master cylinder. But anyway, gonna go in the cab now. Got this all unhooked. There's 4 bolts, and you got to go in the cab, under the steering wheel, under the dash, and take those out. Then you got to unhook the brake pedal, which is a little clip, and I'll show you the clip. It's hard to get under there with a camera and light, but I'll see what I can do. Okay, so a few tips that are going to help you with this job. This is the clip that goes over the brake pedal stud. This holds the shaft of the Hydroboost, and it also holds the brake light switch. You can see where it kind of slides over, so you just take your screwdriver and you got to pry this up off the shaft, and then you can see there's a bigger hole as you slide it down. So you're going to slide it down, then you can it'll fall off like that. There is the brake light switch is on the shaft also, so just pay attention to where that goes. It actually goes between the shaft of the Hydroboost. This is the tool I actually use to get all the bolts from the back of the Hydroboost. It's just an extension. It's actually a 3/8, then 15 millimeter deep. And you can get to 3 of the bolts relatively easily with this setup. The bolt that goes kind of behind the brake pedal, you got to unhook everything, swing your brake pedal up in the air, and then you're able to squeeze this up in there. And like I said, this is going to make life so much easier using a power tool than trying to go in there with a ratchet. I mean, you're going to be under that seat forever. It is uncomfortable, but this will save you a big amount of time. It's just an extension. I got a swivel, an impact swivel, and like I said, deep 15 millimeter socket. Okay, so with all the bolts unbolted and the brake pedal unclipped, this should come out here just like this. Okay, so here's the old unit out and on the bench. There you've got your studs in the back that go under the dash. Here's your shaft that connects to the brake pedal. And this thing has got fluid everywhere. It's been leaking a long time, looks like. So that's the old one. This is the new one. This is a rebuilt AC Delco unit. And it's always good to compare guys side by side. Obviously it's a lot cleaner, has everything, same studs and everything, new shaft. And sometimes guys, you have to load, you got to load your piston in here. And I've done a video on that. I don't know exactly what I was doing, but I did a video. Sometimes you got to load them. You got to take this one out of your old one and put it in your new one. Okay, so they got this tag on the front, and that's just reminding you that you have to install your push rod, spring and retainer in here. You can see there's nothing in there. You got to take your one from your old one and put it inside this one. So that's another little thing you got to do when you do your Hydroboost. On this one anyway. Okay, so to get this push rod and spring out of here, it's really not that difficult. You just kind of push on it, and I got this hook tool here, and I just kind of push on it and pull it out. Push on the retainer, kind of bend those teeth. I'm gonna be able to show you, I bet, because it's just gonna be my fingers in the way. I can't really show you what I'm doing, but you just pull them out, and then along comes your spring and your push rod, and you're going to reinstall this into the new one. You just push it in there, and you just hook well, first straighten this out if you bent it, this little star thing, then you just pop it in the groove. No big deal. So be aware of that. This one came with it already inside there, and the spring's already in there, so just be aware of that. Apparently these rebuilt AC Delco ones, they put the new piston or whatever in there, so I'm good to go. I'm gonna get this thing slid in, and I get to go under there and start all these bolts under the dash. So I've got the new Hydroboost in place. I've got the bolts tightened down under the dash. I've got the brake pedal, push rod hooked back up, clip back installed. And that's pretty much it for a Hydroboost, guys. You gotta obviously put your master cylinder back on. I've got my return line. I've got one of the hard lines installed. I'm gonna replace this line right here. This goes to I believe the power steering pump. I'm gonna replace that pressure line because this one's pretty wet right there on the crimp there. So I'm gonna replace that. But otherwise, if you're not replacing the hose, just hook it back up. Now, I believe you should replace the O-rings on these hoses. My Hydroboost didn't come with new O-rings, but I'm replacing the line, so doesn't matter. I got new O-rings, but I think you're supposed to change the O-rings in those pressure lines. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. The hardest part, I guess, of this job is in the cab there, going under the dash. Especially if you're a bigger person, you're gonna struggle fitting under there and twisting around under there. But overall, not really that hard of a job. Hopefully, if you got a good Hydroboost, your brakes will be working. You will have to top off the power steering fluid. That's where this gets the pressure from. So you will have to top off your power steering fluid because you have lost some installing a new Hydroboost. To bleed the Hydroboost system and the power steering system, Really all you do is you pump the brakes and then you turn the steering wheel, and it should bleed, it should self bleed all the air out as you're doing that, pumping the pedal and turning the wheels. So pretty straightforward job, guys. Hopefully this helps some people out there with a Hydroboost replacement. I'll see you guys.